These are the Naruto DS games, and despite the surprisingly big amount of games there are here, they all somehow make me want to. Hi, I'm Eric and I do everything, and who doesn't love Naruto? What the frick's wrong with you? Naruto, this is the 4th best-selling manga of all time with over 250 million copies sold. Dang, that's 250 more million people than the amount of Sakura fans out there. Naruto is a Japanese manga series and anime written by Misasaki Kishimoto that follows the adventures of Naruto. Who would have guessed that? This kid along with his friends goes on adventures to stop baddies and become the ultimate ninja. Though in all honesty, Naruto is best known for giving birth to this demonic bastard. Anyway, with the success of this manga, you know what happens by now. They made an anime, card games, art and guidebooks, and yep, video games. Lots and lots of video games. But we are only going to take a look at the 8 DS games because I don't feel like covering 60 plus Naruto games. The Naruto games on DS range from platformers, RPGs, and fighting games, which is a surprisingly nice variety of games to play. Though the fact that someone watched Naruto and was like, yeah, I want this to be a platformer, kinda scares me. Anyway, let's play some Naruto DS games, shall we? Okay, the first games on our list is the Naruto Ninja Destiny series made by Tomy, in which there are a total of 3 games in the series on the DS. I mean, if they made 3 games for the series, it must be good, right? We don't speak of the devil in this Christian-friendly channel, Timmy. Anyway, let's check out the first game in the series, Naruto Ninja Destiny. After the title, selecting the main story mode, and witnessing the most exciting explanation of the story out there, we cut straight away into the first battle with Naruto against Neji in a tournament, making this game take place in the tournament arc in Season 3. But I don't feel compelled to fight Neji at all though. Oh no, he didn't. It's on now. Ah! Did this dude just continuously punch Naruto in the no-no spot? I love this game. All joking aside, this game really isn't that well received, but honestly I found this game so satisfying to play. Sure, it's a broken mess filled with easily exploitable glitches and strange animations, but I found myself addicted to this game and loving it. In this game, you attack with the Y and B buttons, which is a strange choice, but it made it easy to do combos which, speaking of the combos, oh my goodness, they were so satisfying to pull off. Though like I said, it's pretty easy to exploit it, causing this to happen. In this game, you can play as multiple characters, with each one of them having their own unique combo, with Naruto doing this thingy, Sasuke being badass, and Shikamaru, breakdancing? Besides the 2 main attack buttons, the other buttons basically do what you expect them to do. R blocks, L allows you to teleport, S allows you to jump and attack in the air at times, and when you have enough power, the A button allows you to get all Super Saiyan and do the ultimate attack against the person you're facing against, i.e. this wee punching attack we saw earlier. During the fights, we are also given the option of 6 random power-ups we can use as well, with some of them being obvious, like being able to heal yourself or having more defense, with the others being a bit confusing, like what's this one, flashing your biceps to your opposing fighter? Ooh, scary. Do these biceps scare you? Anyway, who am I fighting next? Ew, I have to fight a freaking girl? I don't want cuties. This is why I can't get a girlfriend, even in dating sims. Speaking of girls, look how ugly these graphics are. I mean, sure, it's the freaking DS, it doesn't exactly have the best graphics, but still, the showers are more rebellious and ugly than my unnecessary hatred towards Jump Force. At least the character models actually look pretty decent, but in comparison to the bland, out-of-focus backgrounds and the static images throughout the story, the character models just look out of place, but hey, it could be worse. It could be the character models from Astro Boy on the Wii. Overall, this was quite a fun game, but in all honesty, this really doesn't feel like a Naruto game, as I feel like you could replace the Naruto branding with any other character and get the same result, making this game really feel just like any other handheld fighting game, which is such a shame considering that the people behind this game really tried to make this game an enjoyable experience, but the little things just kept adding up, making this game quite average to play. Well, maybe the next game in the series, Naruto Ninja Destiny 2, is better, so let's check it out. After the title, selecting the story mode, and trying to figure out what the heck the sound is they keep using in the game, we are put right into the story mode, in which yet again the story follows the anime, but this time it follows the Gaara retrieval arc and the Orochimaru hideout infiliation arc. It's honestly pretty much like the last game. Hopefully there isn't anything too cringy about it that would make me want to throw the controller out the window. You know what? I'm not even mad. Naruto kinda looks hot from a top-down perspective. Besides this weird addition to the game, the other things changed from the first Ninja Destiny game were actually better for the most part. The story flows better, there are a ton more characters to play as, and what's this? RPG battles that are actually good and not repetitive? What? Let's talk about the gameplay first. It's honestly pretty much the same as the last game, but there are some tiny differences that I either didn't notice from the last game, or they actually added to make the gameplay experience better. Firstly, you can now jump and sidestep your way through different sides to avoid attacks, though in all honesty, it's pretty much useless, as blocking is so much better than doing that. Heck, I don't even think the computer even sidestepped once. Secondly, the characters are each given their own combos, special attacks, and animations that are much better executed than the last game, making this game actually feel like a boring average Naruto game rather than a boring average fighting game. Yay! Also, there's 2D explosions now. That wasn't in the last game. See, I'm not the only one who does random explosives throughout the video. In terms of graphics, this is a huge step forward towards the right direction, as now the backgrounds are actually beautiful and the character models actually don't look like they were green screened in, so that's a huge plus. Though with the limitations of the DS, I sorta wish they went with the 2D sprites instead of 3D sprites throughout the series in general. What I'm basically trying to say is that the graphics look good with the exception of Sakura. Frick Sakura. The last thing I guess I could mention about the game that isn't a repeat of the last game is the audio and music, which are basically your generic battle music with a hint of Japanese flair. Nothing too special there, but can we take a second to admire the character voices in this game? Naruto Ninja Destiny 3. This is a Japanese exclusive game and the final game in the Naruto Ninja Destiny series, which means it was either too good for us puny wimpy Americans, or they didn't want us puny wimpy Americans complaining about it. Either way, I'm a puny and wimpy American, so let's play this game. Whoa, hold on a second. This game is literally just Ninja Destiny 2. As it pretty much copied everything from that game, like the random encounters, the top-down thingy, etc, etc. But guess what? They somehow made the fighting even worse. As while the last game was somewhat challenging, this game is completely mindless and downright boring to play. Don't believe me? Take a look at this fight. You know what? No. Move on to the next series. I'm done with this crap. Do you want to be a ninja? No. Do you want to be a ninja? Yeah. Well, the Naruto Path of the Ninja series made by Tomy is perfect for you. Oh, so this game is some sort of platformer or action-y game that will allow me to be the ultimate ninja? Nope, it's an RPG. Well, I guess we're mastering the ways of the ninja with the RPG. Let's check this game out. Yep, as you probably guessed by the footage, this game is technically a Game Boy Advance game that was ported over to the DS for whatever reason. But despite that, this game surprisingly looks much better when it comes to the graphics of this game in comparison to the actual DS games. Honestly, I personally think 2D is the way to go when it comes to the Naruto game, and this game makes a good case for it. As it's bright and colorful, you can easily tell where everything is supposed to be, and besides the occasional repetitive tester that gets showcased, this game really feels like it belongs on the DS in a good way. Heck, they even made Sakura look good. I wouldn't have even bothered to put that bubblegum hair demonic frick into the game in the first place. Imagine this game forcing me to admit my secret undying love for Sakura. Man, that would be a nightmare. Oh no, I do not like where this is going. Thankfully, I can choose not to marry her. What? This is a Crusoe? Frick. Story, that's the thing. Remember in the anime when Naruto and friends first meet their sensei? And they eventually try to capture a bell from the sensei to become the ultimate ninja? Well, someone at the office saw that and was like, yep, we can make an RPG out of this. And hey, I gotta say, why I didn't think Naruto would make for a pretty good RPG? This game proved me wrong, as this game is actually decent. Don't get me wrong, it's nothing too special, and it's honestly quite generic. But I could tell the developers really put a lot of love and care into the RPG system to really make it feel like the perfect Naruto game. Your basic RPG tasks include attacking, defending items, and fleeing. But the one thing that sets it apart from the other RPGs is the fact that throughout the battle, in each turn, you can choose to teleport anywhere on this 3x3 grid that allows you to strategize quite decently. The further away you are, the less damage you give your enemy, making the enemy more likely to miss and do less damage to you as well. And when you're closer, it's vice versa. This mechanic had so much potential, but it really only hardly affects the gameplay at all, and is quite the underwhelming mechanic that doesn't even matter as time goes on. There's also the mechanic of rubbing the screen in order to do a fast attack as well, which is quite unoriginal and really annoying at times, especially since you have to rub pretty fast on some occasions for a weaker attack. Now you might be wondering, where are the DS pistollated anime boobies? I am going to scream if I don't get my daily fill of bontastic profession. It's beautiful. Yep, as the game progresses, you get the ability to do super moves. Though I don't have much footage regarding this, as I only use the Sasuke Jitsu throughout the game. I'm an 18-year-old straight white male, what did you expect? The last thing I want to mention regarding this game is the music and sound effects. Funnily enough, this game uses the same sound effect packs I do, which is kind of funny, and ironically, both the game and I use the same bamboo sound effect the most. Besides that weird coincidence with the sound effects, the music in this game is actually pretty good for the DS standards. As while the music perhaps has the worst sound quality you'll ever hear, I found the music in this game to be quite awesome and fit the Naruto tone much better than generic Japanese fighting music. Overall, it's pretty much what I expected when I heard the words Naruto and RPG mashed together. That being said though, maybe the sequel will make me the ultimate ninja, let's find out. It's honestly pretty much the same game, but with some minor improvements, such as the ability to switch your party members during battle, as well as, oh gosh, I'm a frog now, I did not consent to this. Hippity hoppity, the frog life ain't for me. Another change I guess I could mention as well is the story, which is actually original to this game, in which Naruto must collect 5 mirrors hidden in the game in order to save the world from this purple fog thingy that turns everyone evil and they stay in it for too long. I.e., it sounds like your typical RPG story that centers around you collecting stuff with a main overworld in which you can shop and stuff. Other than that though, it's pretty much the same game. It's a little better, but nothing too notable. Wanna know another notable thing? Yeah, there's yet another Naruto series on the DS. And this game has the perfect combination for a Naruto game on DS. It's a 2D fighting game, yes, this is exactly what I wanted. Alright, let's play this game. Trust Timmy, believe it, the Naruto Ninja Counter games are going to be amazing, trust me. Well, you know the drill by now. Let's start with the first game of the series, Naruto Ninja Counter 3. It's a freaking glorified mission mode game. I am very disappointed. Okay, this game is based off completing a variety of missions throughout the game in a pretty open world fashion, which I usually have no problem with and what I expect from anime games in general. But my goodness, are the missions the most freaking nonsensical things I ever experienced, and I was freaking Boruto. Don't believe me? One of the most notable missions in this game was killing 20 snakes in 90 seconds. Does this look fun to you? Can you imagine someone doing this mission in real life? The missions in these games are either too easy or too hard, as you are either chasing or fighting a CPU, which was actually pretty fun, or being pit into doing these ridiculous challenges that feel more like chores than anything else. Like, my gosh, I do not freaking care, I can beat the frick out of 10 bats in 300 seconds. This brings me to the controls and overall gameplay, which I was actually pretty impressed with. Like I said earlier, a 2D Naruto fighting brawler game can be amazing if done right, and they did an amazing job during the fight and chase sequences of this game. It is so satisfying moving around and doing attacks on the rare occasions these missions popped up. For example, there's this one mission where you have to strategically break obstacles carefully in order to catch someone in 60 seconds. This was so fun, as not only did I learn more cool things in the game, like the fact that you can run on walls and memorize which attacks broke the obstacles faster, but also reminded me of how much wasted potential this game has. As while the 10% of the gameplay I just mentioned earlier was so fun, 90% of the game makes the controls feel horrible due to how most of these missions were structured, as most of the stages are so tiny and small, making you constantly bump into sharp objects and fall into weirdly placed lava pits, for example. And it doesn't help that the bats constantly move across the stage, making you constantly having to traverse up and down throughout the stage. Moral of the story, bats freaking scare me. Speaking of bats, why did Timmy the Taco get hit with a baseball bat? Because he didn't talk about playing Naruto Ninja Counter 4. Anyway, let's talk about the next game in the Naruto Ninja Counter series, Naruto Ninja Counter 4. This game is considered to be the worst Naruto DS game, according to a variety of sources such as IGN and Metacritic. But ironically, this game was perhaps one of my favorite Naruto DS games, as it provides and does every single thing I wanted from a Naruto DS game. There's fast-paced fighting, creative and platforming fun, addicting battles, and no sight of Sakura anywhere, frick! The gameplay for this game is quite diverse surprisingly, with some parts of the game having you running around from one place to another similar to the Sonic games, but instead of going all swishy speedy, you instead use and showcase a variety of moves while attacking enemies and using moves to get from one place to the next place while making this game feel like it was meant for Naruto and no other game series. However, these point A to point B battles weren't even my favorite part. No, my favorite part has got to be the battles, as they were so satisfying to play. These battles, while they honestly don't do anything too notable, totally has a Naruto charm within these battles, which is something I can't say with any other Naruto game so far. While these battles are basically glorified Street Fighter battles, they do offer some uniqueness in regards to a couple of things, like being much more fast-paced than other fighting games, giving it that fast-paced anime fighting vibe, as well as also including these freaking awesome superpower moves that you can't get from any other game. Even Mortal Kombat can't compete with the no-boss Naruto move finisher. What's that? I'm attractive? Speaking of being attractive, man, this game looks amazing as well. This is by far the best Naruto looking game on a DS. This is quite perhaps the only Naruto game that doesn't look like a Flash game or something you got with a free 3D Unity pack, so props to this game. That being said though, I do have one big complaint though. Well, it's honestly more like a small complaint, as yes, the game is way too small, as the story mode only lasts around 5 hours, and there's nothing to do after that. Literally, the only thing besides the story mode is wireless mode and records. Where are they even keeping records for? The amount of times I crushed some guy's nuts? And it doesn't help that Sakura is creepily staring at me in a lustful way again. No, bad Sakura, get your green evil eyes away from me. We all know Hinata is the only cute Naruto girl in the anime. Wait, what? Why? Oh no. Who is more attractive, Naruto or Sasuke? Well, there's a DS game for that. With the Naruto vs Sasuke game being considered the best Naruto game on a DS according to Metacritic. With that being said, let's check out this game. The last one was amazing, so this one should be good as well, right? As long as there's no creepy Sakura sprite staring at me, I should be fine. Gosh darn it, Yandere Sakura is back? No! Story mode, just like other games in this series, it takes place during a random part of the anime, in which the game happens to take place during the second season of the Naruto Shippuden series. All you really need to know about the story of this game, and that is basically does what the title says. Naruto goes through countless lands, searching far and wide for his long-lost lover, Sasuke. Oh, wait, then was Naruto and Sasuke SSS? Gameplay. The gameplay of this game was actually pretty fun, and offered some new things onto the table, such as the ability to play up to 3 different characters in each level, as well as various items such as throwing stars and tiny spears that make you go boom boom. Firstly, the platforming action sessions throughout the game is the best I ever seen in a Naruto game. As well as still just you running from point A to point B, there is more variety in regards to how you can complete the level. Want to avoid our enemies and speedrun your way to complete the level as fast as possible? You can do that. Want to explore every nook and cranny throughout each level? You can do that as well, as some levels don't even have a set time limit. The variety these sessions of the game has in terms of how you're going to get to point A to point B was honestly one of my favorite memories in regards to anime games. And I played some pretty good anime games in my life. No, not you. That's why it pains me to say this, but I do not like the fighting in this game. Okay, imagine Street Fighter, but the characters are shrunken down to 4 times their size while suddenly having the moveset of a typical beat 'em up game. Yeah, it's kind of a weird explanation, but that's what this game felt like to me. 1. The majority of these fighting only battles were boss battles, which makes sense, but these boss battles were really hard, which I usually have no problem with, as I love a good challenge. But when you lose once to a boss, you have to restart the entirety of the chapter over again. Yep, that's right, if you lose, you have to complete 2 platforming levels again in order to even consider challenging the boss again. And it doesn't help that it's downright impossible to perform combos or pretty much anything for the matter, as you are better off hitting and running, etc, etc, which is honestly really such a shame, but at least the superpowers you can perform throughout the games were pretty awesome. Like damn, even Sakura has a pretty kick-ass super move. Dang, why didn't she do this in the anime? She went from a 0 out of 10 to 0.1 out of 10 just because of this move, though I might be too generous with this new ranking. I have high standards when it comes to anime girls. The last thing to mention in regards to this game is the music and sound effects. While the sound effects are your typical anime sound effects you hear in every anime, the music in this game was honestly quite amazing, as the majority of this music in the game combines typical Japanese fighting music with a bass that's surprisingly pretty good. I mean, listen to this bass. Overall, if you missed the good old Flash games and want to experience a really good Naruto DS game that feels like a Flash game rather than an actual game, I recommend checking this one out, as I still had a blast with it. Okay, we got a game that had amazing platforming sessions, but horrible fighting, and vice versa. But what if I told you there's a Naruto game on DS that has amazing fighting and amazing platforming? Well, I'd be lying. Naruto Shippuden Rumble. Maybe it's a rhythm game, perhaps it's maybe even a perverted adult one. Let's find out, shall we? Gosh darn it, it's Super Smash Bros, but with Naruto. All joking aside, this game definitely has the most content and replayability in regards to Naruto DS games, as not only do you have a story mode, but you also have a versus mode that supports up to 4 players, personal battles, which allows you to customize and personalize each character with any move for battling, and mission mode, which is pretty self-explanatory at this point. Let's talk about the story mode, shall we? The story mode of this game is honestly quite underwhelming, as it yet again follows a specific part of the Naruto anime that will confuse you if you haven't seen the anime yet, but at least this game doesn't really focus on the story, but rather the gameplay instead. This is the best gameplay in any Naruto game, hands down, as it's pretty much a brawler filled to the brim with combos, special moves, items, and a surprising amount of customization options you can give each character. The most satisfying part of the gameplay though has to be the vast amount of moves and strategy you can implement in regards to the game. For example, if an enemy is playing aggressive, you have the option to counterattack that. If the enemy is playing too defensive, you have a variety of super moves you can use to break the defense. It's honestly surprisingly fair and balanced like that. The most unfair character in this game though has to be, drumroll please, Mr. Health Bar here. Frick Mr. Health Bar, no one likes you. Die, die, die! The health system this game offers is downright weird. Okay, each character has 3 different health bars, a red one, a yellow one, and a green one. And when all 3 of them deplete, you die. But the annoying thing about this is that when you use an amazingly strong move with 1 health bar, it only affects that 1 health bar, not another, making these battles last much longer than they need to. This health bar is ruining my freaking life. In regards to how the overall structure and mechanics of the fights work, it's pretty much a copy of Super Smash Bros. I mean, you got the items coming out of the sky randomly, there are platforms you can navigate around while fighting, and there's even an equivalent of the Super Smash Ball where you can actually be invincible for a couple of seconds while fighting. Overall, between the balance and fun characters, pretty addicting gameplay, and creativity in regards to how to structure your character in these fights, this game really made me feel like this was the perfect Naruto DS gameplay at times. Not only are the controls pretty fun, but this game is pretty satisfying to look at as well. As well as some levels have that annoying shrinking issue that makes it feel like a flash game rather than a natural game. The special effects, moves, backgrounds, character sprites, and overall design of the game really looks amazing. Heck, these characters are almost as attractive as me. Man, those games were fun. Whoa, Sakura! Oh, it's on. I am gonna beat your pink-tiered butt.
That's about as much as I expected.